buksan mo ang iyong radyo. Lahat kami ay narito, tapat sa aming serbisyo. Walang problemang di malagpasan. Magliliwanag ang ating kinabukasan. Dance Radio, silid-aralan sa radyo. Hatid namin makabagong paraan ang pagtuturo. Kahit saan at kahit kailan, hindi ka iiwanan. Hatid namin.
Ito ang 106.3 Dance Radio. Dance Radio.
Prepare yourself.
Ang silid-aralan sa radyo, hatid namin ay makabagong paraan ng pagtuturo at kalaman. Mapaumaga, tanghali o hapon man yan, ang istasyong magbibigay impormasyon kahit saan man.
Alright, here we go.
106.3 Dance Radio. Doña Aurora National High School, Santa Rita, Aurora, Isabela.
This
106.3 DWDR-FM. Music, arts, physical education, and health. Mga aralin na dapat malaman, inyong tututukan dito sa 106.3 Dance Radio. Ang istasyong magbibigay ng edukasyon kahit saan man. At ang silid-aralan sa radyo, 106.3 DWDR-FM. Sa MAPEH, learning is amazing!
Yes, good afternoon and a blissful Tuesday, everyone. Let's start our first episode of our MAPEH 9 radio-based instruction in music education with eagerness, smile, and full of positive disposition. A great afternoon to our OIC, the Chief Education Supervisor of SDO Isabela, Sir Rodrigo V. Pascua, to our Active Assistant Principal, Ma'am Rudy R. Guillermo, and our supportive head teachers, especially to the head teacher of MAPEH Learning Area, Sir Leo Bernardo is working from home right now. And to all strong and dedicated teacher and staff of dance, good afternoon. Hi also to the parents, dear students who are listening right now, most especially to our grade 9 learners. Of course, to my grade 9 pastor, 9 Mendel, and 9 Darwin. I am teacher Dante N. Hulaton, and with me are the other grade 9 MAPEH teachers. We have teacher MJ, teacher Ibes, and teacher Francis. Welcome to MAPEH Quest in Music Education 9. Thank you for tuning in to our station Dance Radio 106.3 FM sa MAPEH.
Learning is amazing!
Hello Philippines and hello world! Hello Doña Aurora National High School, and of course, hello po sa aking advisory class, ang 9SPA. Shout out 9SPA! Congratulations kasi nasunod ninyo yung instruction ko kung paano kayo mag-pass. Thank you very much. And of course, 9 Mango and ang 9 Makopa ni Sir Mark Bagamaspad and ni Sir Arnel Simon, ang 9 Chico and 9 Guyabano.
Yes, Sir Ives. Shout out ko din ang aking mga estudyante coming from 9 Avocado, 9 Calamansi, and 9 Lanzones. Ganon din ang mga klase ni Ma'am Annalisa Bersosa, 9 Anonas, 9 Atis.
Okay, good afternoon, grade 9 learners. Good afternoon din sa mga parents natin na nakikinig at nanonood ngayong araw. Hello, hello, hello. And of course, shout out to my grade 9 Dalandan. Okay, mag-comment na ng inyong section sa ating chat box. Tinitingnan ko kanina yung aking chat box. Parang dadalawa pa lang, Sir Dante.
Pero so far, may 76 na tayo. May 76 na tayo na nanood.
Yung nakikita ko, Sir Dante, is dalawa pa lang na Dalandan. Hello mga anak, shout out. Mag-comment tayo ng ating section para ma-check namin ang inyong mga attendance. And also shout out to the students of Ma'am Joanna Marie Escomiendo, ang grade 9 SPJ.
Ayan, so we are inviting once again yung mga grade 9 na wala pa o hindi pa nakakapasok sa ating live stream. Siguro yung iba, they are listening to Spotify or kaya nakikinig sa kanilang radio. That's why we are inviting our grade 9 learners na pumasok na at of course, masasaksihan natin ang first episode ngayon ng ating MAPEH 9 and that is Music Education 9. So let's listen to our recorded RBI lesson in Music Education 9. Enjoy listening and watching. We'll be back after the RBI.
Right back.
Music, arts, physical education, and health. Mga aralin na dapat malaman, inyong tututukan dito sa Dance Radio. Ang istasyong magbibigay ng edukasyon kahit saan. Ito ang 106.3 Dance Radio. Totonia Aurora National High School, Santa Rita, Aurora, Isabela. Ang silid-aralan sa radyo. 106.3 DWDR-FM. Dance Radio. Sa MAPEH, learning is amazing.
Good day, grade 9 learners! I am glad to be with you in 30-minute broadcast. I hope you enjoy today's interesting topic. Please get your writing materials and module so we can start our lesson. Are you ready to start?
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck! From the previous school year, what are the lessons you have learned in music subject?
Ma'am, I learned about the different music of Asian countries.
Very good! What else?
Ma'am, I learned the different songs like Zungali, Sakura, Arirang, Burong Kakatwa, Rasasayang, and many more.
Amazing! How do you feel about their songs?
Ma'am, their songs are great. I really enjoyed learning and singing their songs. They are actually a manifestation of their authentic culture and tradition.
Great idea! Music is so important for Asian people because the ideal society is to be governed by rites, ritual, and ceremonial functions, not by law or raw power. In a culture where people function according to ritual and ceremony, music is used to help conduct and govern them. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
At the end of this episode, you are expected to describe the musical elements of selected vocal and instrumental music during medieval, Renaissance, and Baroque periods, and perform music from the medieval, Renaissance, and Baroque periods. This time, you are going to listen to music titled The Life of Christ.
The Life of Christ.
Here is the music. Titled The Life of Christ. Were you able to listen clearly on the music?
Yes, ma'am.
What can you say about the music?
Ma'am, it seems the music setting is in the church. Very solemn.
That's right! What else?
Ma'am, it sounds like one person is singing without any musical accompaniment.
That's great! Any more idea?
Ma'am, I think the music was created long before. It's old and historical in nature.
Very good! The music that you have listened to is a part of music history. It is an example of Western music. Western music includes medieval, Renaissance, and Baroque. Their music served as one of the foundations in the development of music in the world. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's deepen your understanding on the music of medieval, Renaissance, and Baroque periods after the infomercial.
Ano ang pinaka-naalala ninyo tungkol sa ating aralin sa music?
Ang pag-awit ng mga katutubong awitin sa iba't ibang lugar sa Pilipinas at sa buong mundo.
Tama! Minsan nga, nakakatutuwa ang mga awitin na gumagamit ng iba't ibang lengguwahe. Pero ang saya-saya, di ba?
Hindi natin nalilimutan ang mga linya sa mga awitin. Nakatatak ang mga ito sa ating puso.
Sitsiritsit, alibangbang, sa laginto, sa lagubang, ang babae sa lansangan, kung gumiri parang tandang. O di ba? Alam na alam ko pa.
Sa true, Beshi. Ito naman sa akin. Rasa sayang rasa sayang hey, lihat no na jaun, rasa sayang
Napakanta rin ba kayo habang pinakikinggan ang himig?
Hi! Kay sarap namang balikan ang ating mga natutunan.
Pinalakas ng musika ang ating mga pandamdam. Inaantig ang ating damdamin at ibinabalik ang mga alaala.
Ang musika ay isang katangi-tanging elemento sa mundo na nagbibigay at patuloy na magbibigay kulay sa ating buhay.
Isang mensahe mula sa MAPEH Learning Area at ng himpilang ito.
Kayo nakikinig sa Music Grade 9 kasama si Teacher Monica Jill B.
Back! Today, we shall talk about the first 3 periods of Western music history, the medieval, Renaissance, and Baroque periods. Each period has its distinctive characteristics, historical, and cultural background. Are you now ready?
Yes, ma'am! We are now ready!
The music of the medieval period dates back from the 7th to 14th century. The period was also known as the Middle Ages or Dark Ages.
Ma'am, why Dark Ages?
That's a great question. Why is medieval period called Dark Ages?
Ma'am, medieval period is also called Dark Ages because it was during this time that the fall of the Roman Empire started.
You are right. What else?
Ma'am, during this era, the Christian church was greatly influenced by Europe's culture and political affairs.
Amazing answer! In addition, a monophonic plain chant known as Gregorian chant was named after Pope Gregory I, who made this unapproved music of the Catholic Church. The Life of Christ is a good example of Gregorian chant. Based on that music you have heard, can you describe the characteristics of the musical elements of the Gregorian chant?
Ma'am, the music is monophonic. I just heard a single unaccompanied vocal melody and the lyrics is based on Latin liturgy.
Good answer! What more?
Ma'am, the music is more on modals. It is in a free meter and there is the use of noon notation, wherein successive musical pitches and unfamiliar melody are visible.
Excellent observation! During the latter part of the medieval period, secular music, which was not bound by Catholic traditions, emerged. Most of these songs were performed across Europe by groups of musicians called Troubadours.
Troubadours.
Listen to their music titled Troubadours. You have just heard the music titled Troubadour. How will you describe the elements of troubadour music?
Ma'am, the sound is monophonic, but I heard an accompaniment.
Very good! Sometimes, they are using improvised accompaniment. What else?
Ma'am, the music is very familiar when it comes to movie background about war or love story.
Great! The music tells chivalry and court love. They originated in France and were written in the French language. One of the oldest secular composers whose literary and musical works, which includes chansons and poetic debates, is Adam de la Halle. Let's continue after the infomercial.
Flashlight, check. Baterya, check. Radyo, check. Gamot, check. Delata, check. Ano pa kayang kulang sa aking survival kit?
O sis, anong ginagawa mo? Aanin mo ang mga yan.
Narinig ko kasi ang balita sa radyo na may paparating na bagyo sis. Kailangan nating paghandaan ito.
Ha? Ganun ba? Hindi ko narinig ang balita na yan.
Naku sis, dapat ay alerto tayo sa mga ganitong balita. Alam naman nating mahirap kalaban ng kalamidad.
Ay oo nga, sinabi mo pa sis. Sige, uwi na ako. Sisiguraduhin kong handa ang pamilya ko sa darating na bagyo.
Tandaan, hindi maiwasan ang pagdating ng mga kalamidad. Kinakailangan maghanda para sa ating kaligtasan upang sa huli ay di natin pagsisisihan. Ligtas ang may alam.
Isang paalala mula sa himpilang ito.
Kayo nakikinig sa Music Grade 9 kasama si Teacher Monica G.
I'm back! Let's continue with the music of the Renaissance period, which dates back from 14th to 16th century. The term Renaissance came from the word renaître, which means rebirth, revival, and rediscovery. What happened during this period?
Ma'am, with the emergence of the bourgeois class, Renaissance music became more popular as entertainment and activity for amateurs and the educated.
Yes, absolutely correct. What else?
Ma'am, though sacred music was still of great importance, secular music became more popular in this period. Renaissance period was also known as the Golden Age of a cappella choral music.
You are correct. Music during the Renaissance period became an important leisure activity. Members of the upper class were expected to have received musical training. Listen to an example of Renaissance music titled Brancel. Here is the music. You have just listened to the music titled Brancel. What are the distinct characteristics of Renaissance music?
Ma'am, I heard a lot of sounds Mostly, they are polyphonic in nature. Imitation of sounds is common, and use of word painting in texts and music is present.
That's right! What else?
Ma'am, melodic lines move in a flowing manner and melodies are easier to perform because these move along a scale with a few large lifts.
Very good! There are two vocal music of the Renaissance period, Mass and Madrigal. What is the difference between Mass and Madrigal?
Ma'am, Mass is a sacred musical composition, while Madrigal is a secular vocal polyphonic music composition.
Amazing! In addition, Mass text is a set for Eucharistic liturgy, while Madrigal is expressed in poetic text sung during courtly social gatherings. Let's listen to a Mass music titled Gloria.
Gloria.
You have just listened to the music titled Gloria. How will you describe the music?
Ma'am, the music is polyphonic and it can be sung a cappella or with orchestral accompaniment.
Wow! What else?
Ma'am, the text may be syllabic, pneumatic, or melismatic depending on the set syllables.
Correct! When we say syllabic, we mean one note is set to each syllable. Pneumatic when few notes are set to one syllable. And melismatic when many notes are set to one syllable. Mass has 5 main sections. We have Kyrie, Gloria, Credo Sanctus and Benedictus, and Agnus Dei. Now, let us also listen to a madrigal music titled Fire, Fire My Heart by Thomas Morley. Here is the music. Fire, 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 fire. You have just listened to a music titled Fire, Fire My Heart. How will you describe the music?
Ma'am, the music is polyphonic and it can be sung a cappella.
Correct! What more?
Ma'am, it is frequently sung in 3 to 6 voices.
Great idea! The famous composers of the Renaissance period includes Giovanni Pierluigi da Palestrina, who is the greatest master of the Catholic Church music of that time, and Thomas Morley, whose works are madrigal music. Let's proceed to the music of the Baroque period, which dates back from 1685 to 1750. The word Baroque is derived from the Portuguese word barroco, which means pearl of irregular shape. What happened to music during this era?
Ma'am, during this time, the arts highlighted grandiose and elaborated ornamentation, which were clearly seen in the musical compositions created by Baroque composers.
Correct! Any more?
Ma'am, new instrumental techniques, changes in musical notation, and the major and minor tonality were also applied in this era.
Very good! A lot of the musical terms and concepts that evolved in this era are still used in music of today. Let's listen to the music of Antonio Vivaldi, titled Four Seasons.
Four Seasons.
Here is the music. You have just listened to music titled Four Seasons. How will you describe the music?
Ma'am, the music melodies sound elaborated, ornamental, and melodies are not easy to sing or remember.
Good! Primarily, the textures are contrapuntal with some homophony, dynamic and contrast are visible, and music genres are many. What more?
Ma'am, orchestra consists of strings and continuo. Harpsichord and organ are the keyboard instruments commonly used.
Absolutely correct! New forms were also introduced. Concerto grosso, fugue, oratorio, and chorale are the musical genres that time. Johann Sebastian Bach, Antonio Vivaldi, and George Friedrich Handel were the famous composers during the Baroque period. Before we continue, let's have an infomercial.
Amazing tips sa pag-aaral ngayong new normal.
Una, matulog sa tamang oras. Siguraduhin mula 7 hanggang 8 oras ang iyong pagtulog.
Sapat na iyan upang gumana ng maayos ang utak upang makapag-isip. Siguradong good day ka, kaibigan.
Ikalawa, magtala o gumawa ng sariling schedule. Mahalaga ang time management, kaibigan.
Itala ang mga subject na kinakailangan mong pag-aralan sa buong araw. Maglaan ng oras para sa mga ito.
Ikatlo, pumili ng lugar sa iyong pag-aaral. Focus.
Kailangan mo yan. Kaya nararapat na komportable
at tahimik na lugar ang iyong kalalagyan.
Huwag ring kalilimutang ipahinga ang utak.
Find time to relax upang handa ka muling mag-aral kinabukasan.
At iyan ang ating amazing tips, kaibigan.
Kahit new normal, tuloy pa rin ang pag-aaral.
Kayo'y nakikinig sa Music Grade 9 kasama si Teacher Monica G.
I'm back! This time, open your module on pages 2 to 3. Do Activity 1, Directions. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Write your answer in a separate sheet of paper. Let us answer number 1. The question is, which of the following is a characteristic of a troubadour music? What is your answer?
Ma'am, the answer is letter B. Sometimes with improvised accompaniment.
Correct! Do the remaining items in your most convenient time after the broadcast. Let's proceed to Activity 2 on page 3. Directions. Listen to the following compositions, then choose description of the elements based on the music selection that you heard. Write the letter of your answer in a separate sheet of paper. Let us answer number 1. The question is, what is the texture of Salve Regina? What is your answer?
Ma'am, the answer is letter A, monophonic.
Correct! Do the remaining items in your most convenient time after the broadcast. Let's proceed to Activity 3 on page 4. Directions. Listen to Vivaldi's Spring from the Four Seasons. While listening, answer the questions that follow. Let us answer number 1. The question is, were you able to hear loud and soft sounds in the composition? Describe what you heard in your own words. What is your answer?
Ma'am, the answer is yes. I heard the soft and loud sounds. When a section or a part of the composition is repeated, it is usually played softer than the first time it is played.
Correct! Do the remaining items in your most convenient time after the broadcast. And for your performance tasks, do Activity 2 on page 23, titled Folk Gregorian. Listen once again to the Gregorian chant sample. Try to imitate and familiarize with the melody of the song. When you are already familiar with it, sing the song using the lyrics of Bahay Kubo. Record your performance and submit it to your MAPEH teacher. Be guided on the rubrics on page 23 of your module. Is the instruction clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's have a recap. Who can summarize our lesson for today?
Ma'am, we discussed the first 3 periods of Western music, namely medieval, Renaissance, and Baroque.
Good! What else?
Ma'am, we also discussed the music elements of the periods by listening and describing the distinct characteristics of the music.
That's right! What more?
Ma'am, in addition, we discussed the historical, cultural background, and some of the famous composers of the given period of music.
Very good! This time, let me check if you really understood the lesson. Listen carefully to the following sentences and analyze whether the sentence is true or false. Write true if the sentence is correct and false if the sentence is wrong. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Number 1. Gregorian chant used noon notation in music. What is your answer?
Ma'am, the answer is true.
Correct! Number 2. A cappella is a prominent in choral music during the medieval time. What is your answer?
Ma'am, the answer is false.
Great! Number 3. The Fourth Season is the greatest masterpiece of Antonio Vivaldi. What is your answer?
Ma'am, the answer is true.
Amazing! For your last activity, answer the reflection part on page 4 of your module. Do this activity in your most convenient time after the broadcast. You are amazing! Congratulations! We are done with our lesson in Music 9. I hope you understood the discussion for today. Do not forget to ask your subject teacher through their mobile phones or messenger chats if you have questions or clarifications. I would like to acknowledge the teachers behind this RBI lesson, Teacher Dante and Hulaton, our script writer. Teacher Annalisa B. Verzosa, our content editor. Teacher Beverly Ramirez, our language editor. Teacher Arnel Lagasca, our technical specialist. And our overall quality assurance team, Sir Leonidas C. Bernardo, Head Teacher 3 of MAPEH Learning Area. Dr. Rodrigo V. Pascua, Chief Education Supervisor and Officer in charge of the school. And Ma'am Ruby R. Guillermo, our Assistant School Principal. This is your radio teacher, Teacher Monica G. Limpid, saying, education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who were prepared for it today. Thank you everyone and goodbye!
Music, arts, physical education, and health. Mga aralin na dapat malaman, inyong tututukan dito sa Dance Radio. Ang istasyong magbibigay ng edukasyon kahit saan. Ito ang 106.3 Dance Radio. Totonia Aurora National High School, Santa Rita, Aurora, Isabela. Ang silid-aralan sa radyo. 106.3 DWDR-FM. Dance Radio. Sa MAPEH, learning is amazing.
Dance Radio, silid-aralan sa radyo. Atid namin makabago, paraan ang pagtuturo.
Wala nang makakapigil pa. Sulong Arangkada 106.3 Dance Radio sa Aurora, Isabela.
Edukasyo'y susulong, basta na magtulong-tulong. Sulong edukalidad, Dance Radio. Learning is amazing.
Okay, we're back. So, there you have it, our recorded radio-based instruction and Music 9. This afternoon, grade 9 learners, we are going to describe the musical elements of selected vocal instrumental music during the medieval, Renaissance, and Baroque period. And of course, after the airing, you're going to perform music from the medieval, Renaissance, and Baroque period. That's why watch, listen, participate, and learn in our Balitaktakan segment para sa ganon, mas marami pa kayong matututunan at mas madali nyong masusundan ang mga activities na ibibigay namin later on. Ayan. So, bago tayo magpatuloy, para i-connect natin ang topic this afternoon to the topic that we have prepared, kailangan natin balikan kung ano ang napag-aralan ng ating grade 9 learners ngayon na grade 8 noong last year. Ano ba ang pinaka-focus ng music education grade 8? Yan. Tignan nga natin sa ating mga grade 9 learners, paki-chat nga ninyo sa chat box kung ano ang focus ng music education 8 ninyo last year. Tignan natin kung sino ang makakasagot sa kanila. Yan.
I'm sure, Sir Dante, nag-enjoy ang ating mga grade 9 learners nung sila ay grade 8.
Yes, of course. Feeling ko marami silang
napakadami yata
natutunan.
nilang kinanta nung
Meron
grade
na
8
ba?
pa sila.
Ayan, tignan natin.
Wala pa.
Wala pang sumasagot kung ano ang focus ng Music Education 8. Sino kaya ang makakapagbigay sa atin ng topic or focus ng Music Education 8 last year? Ayan, sabi ni Tracy Ann Santiago. Pakibasa nga, Sir MJ.
Tracy Ann Santiago of 9 Darwin. I have learned last year in music education is the different music of Asian countries and different songs like Zoom Gali Gali, Sakura, Arirang, and many more.
Ayan, napakabongga.
Very good. Perfect.
Ang dami, perfect.
Perfect
Ayan.
naman ni Tracy Ann Santiago.
May nag-comment
Bulilan
ulit, sir.
of 9
Ano
Darwin.
sabi, sir?
Si Rovilyn Isabel, different music of Asian
Okay,
countries.
very good.
Yes, so
Sabi rin ni Natasha Pearltan.
si Ma'am Annalisa Bernardo Bersosa is watching.
Yes. Ayan.
Hello po,
Ma'am
Ma'am Ana.
Ana.
Hello, Ma'am Ana, our content editor in music. Pinakikinggan niya kung ano mga pinagsasabi
Yes,
natin.
yan ang
Ayan,
expert sa music.
Very good ang ating mga mag-aaral
Yes,
ng
sir.
grade 9 na nakatapos ng kanilang grade 8. Kasi prerequisite ang music 8 sa ating music 9. Continuation niya. Sir Francis, sabi ng isang grade 9 kanina, na pag-aralan nila yung mga songs. Like
Yes.
Sakura, like
Harira.
Zoom Gali Gali. Ayan, sige.
Yes, so yan ay mga folk songs.
Yan, mga folk song yan.
So what
Asian
are the
folk
songs
song.
of what are the songs you learn from in music education
Ayan.
8?
Sir Ibes, sabi nga kanina ng isang nag-comment, sabi niya Zoom Gali Gali,
Yes.
at Arirang. Ngayon naman, tignan natin. Kakanta si Sir Francis.
Wow.
Tapos, huhulaan ngayon ng ating mga learners, grade 9 learners, kung anong
Bansa.
bansa.
Okay.
Yung bansa
Yung bansa.
na
So tingnan nga natin kung
pinanggalingan
natutunan nila yan, Sir Dante.
kantang ito. Sige, simulan nga natin,
Babasahin
Sir Francis.
natin sa comment box ang
Oh,
mga
basahin
sagot.
natin sa kanta si Sir
I-comment
Francis.
ninyo kung saang bansa ang folk song na ito.
Okay.
Diyos ko, nakakakaba.
Go, Sir Francis!
Burong kakatuwa,
Tuwa.
hinggit di jendela, nenek sudah tua,
Ayan.
cicitnya tinggal dua.
Okay, saang bansa yan?
Lectung, olala.
Oo,
meron na ba nag-comment?
May nag-comment na ba?
Wala pa rin.
Meron na.
Ayan.
Saan?
Wala pa.
Wala pa.
Hindi nila
O,
alam kung
sino?
saan bansa nang
Anong
galing
bansa
ang burong
yan?
kakatwa.
Burong kakatuwa.
May
Saan nanggaling?
nag-tweet.
Oh,
May
ano
nag-tweet
sabi?
sa'yo.
Ay, meron na, sir.
Comment Darwin.
Mel Terry John Domingo.
Indonesia ba yan, sir?
Correct!
Ay, very good.
From Indonesia.
Very good si Mel Terry
Folk
John
song
Domingo.
from
Isa pa nga, sir.
Indonesia.
Sige. Ano pang
Sige.
kanta? Go!
Duan song ng karnong tantalin. Rautang like trying. Sandok kan ciwan loy kratong. Loy loy kratong. Loy loy kratong. Loy kratong kanya fortune ng kaya.
May nag-chat.
Meron na nag-chat.
Okay.
Sawadika.
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 Thailand.
Very good. Sino yung nag-chat, friend?
Sino yung nag-chat?
Tracy Ann Santiago Bulilan.
Kopya ka.
Yeah, so
Ito pa, isa pa.
Go!
Last one tayo.
Last one tayo. Ano bang maganda?
Rasa sayang rasa sayang sayang hey, lihat mo na jauh, rasa sayang sayang rasa sayang rasa sayang sayang hey, lihat mo na jauh, rasa sayang. May sumagot na, sir.
From 9 Darwin again.
From
Ang sagot niya ay Malaysia.
Malaysia.
Ayan.
Sir, Asia.
Parang gusto kong mag-ano ka, mag-Chinese ka
Ay,
naman.
isa pa. Ito naman.
Chinese.
Ito naman, Sir Francis.
Chinese, sabi mo, di alam na nila.
Pero, let's listen po sa
Okay.
Chinese version.
Oh, Chinese version.
How you do melody mo liwa. How you do melody mo liwa. Bang bang siyang raw by
Yan.
Ren Kwa.
Galing yan sa China kasi sinabi mo ni Sir Yes.
Chinese
ito
version
naman.
ni Sir Francis.
Ito naman. Ito naman, last na to, Sir Francis. Bahay kubo, kahit munti, ang halaman doon.
Parang napapapok
Ay
lang sa
sari-sari, sikamas at talong, sigarilyas at mani, sitaw, bataw, patani. Sabi ni Angeline,
from
Pilipinas daw. Ayan.
Wow!
Pilipinas ba? Pilipinas.
Parang Vietnam ata, sir, eh.
Ang gagaling ng ating mga grade 9 learners. Talagang
Philippines.
may
Very
natutunan
good. A folk
sila.
song from the Philippines.
May natutunan talaga sila last year. Ayan. Ang last question natin under review is, why is music important in the life of Asian people? Bakit ba mahalaga ito?
Yes, I think some people believe that music is therapeutic.
Ayan, very good.
Naniniwalang mga ibang tao na ang musika
May
ay
gamot.
nakapagpapagaling ng ating mga karamdaman.
What about you, Sir Ibes? Ano naman ang one importance nito?
Sir,
on the part of why?
it is a form of entertainment and it reflects culture of Asian countries.
Yan. What about you, Sir MJ?
Music is important in the life of Asian people because it tends to attribute most of the significance of social and religious belief.
Yan, sa religious. So therefore, song and music mirror history, values, norms, and the mentality of society. When folklore and cultural ceremonies are celebrated with songs and music, it demonstrates the tradition, customs of a certain society. Kumbaga, it's really a part of their lifestyle already, their culture and tradition. Okay. So yan ang napag-aralan ng ating grade 9, grade 9 ngayon, na grade 8 sila nun. So let's continue learning music as we go back this afternoon, learning the music of the past. Ngayon naman pakinggan natin itong awitin na ito. Let's listen to this music and later on, let's have a listening observation after listening on that particular music. Paki-play nga, Sir MJ. Okay, cut.
And cut.
Cut. Okay. Now, ano ang mga listening observation nyo out of that very simple music?
Sir Dante, napaka-solemn naman yun. Parang kinilabutan ako. Tumayo lahat ng mga balahibo sa ating katawan.
Tumayo raw sa balahibo. What about you, Sir Ibes?
Sir, napaka-sacred and nung narinig ko is parang ang holy.
Parang nagbukas ang langit.
Parang nasa
may mga
simbahan ako,
anghel
sir.
na sumalubong.
Maliwanag pa kasi nandito sa harapan ko.
Akala ko nga sinusundo na ako.
What about you, Sir MJ?
Napaka-solemn, sir, at the same time, na-imagine ko talaga na parang nasa loob ako ng church.
Okay, nasa loob ng church. Okay. Generally, that particular music na pinlay natin, na very simple music, it's very relaxing talaga. It has the potential to create calm and serenity. Sabi nyo kanina, napaka-holy, napaka-melancholic. Sabi nga ni Sir Francis kanina, it's therapeutic. Maybe some of you are scared because of the monophonic tone and solemn atmosphere. Pero, actually, that particular music is really essential because it is connected to the topic that we are going to have this afternoon. That particular music is an example of the music of the medieval period, na kung saan nag-start pa during the 700 to the 14th century. Simulan natin. Ano nga ba ang medieval period? Okay. Pag sinabi natin medieval period, It is a period also known as the Middle Ages or the Dark Ages, wherein tinawag itong Dark Ages because it started with the fall of the Roman Empire. During this time, Christian church influenced Europe culture and political affair, at ang kanilang music ay tinawag na the Gregorian Chant. Ano nga ba ang Gregorian Chant, Sir MJ?
Yes, sir. Gregorian chant is the central tradition of Western plain chant, a form of monophonic and accompanied sacred song of the Western Roman Catholic Church. And who wrote this Gregorian chant? So this chant was probably named after Pope Gregory the Great. When Charlemagne had become Holy Roman Emperor, he made everyone in Europe use this Gregorian chant. So, etong Gregorian chant, ano nga ba ang use nito? So, this Gregorian chant, its purpose is to praise and service through our God.
And
So,
then,
next, Sir Ives, what are the characteristics of Gregorian chant?
Okay, for us to understand more the music of the medieval period, let us going to discuss the different characteristics of the Gregorian chant. First one is monophonic. When we say monophonic, it consists of a single line without accompaniment. It can be a human voice alone or an instrument alone. Okay? Monophonic means, the mono means one. Kaya either kinakanta mo lang siya without the accompaniment of the instruments, or walang kumakantang human voice, wala kang maririnig na human voice, pero meron kang naririnig na instrument na iisa lamang. For example, flute, yun lang ang maririnig mo na sound doon sa ating music. Another is, it is free meter. It is no regular repeating rhythm. So, this is limited in range, meaning to say there is no time signature used in their composition. Yes, sir. Wala siya, hindi siya 2/4, hindi siya 3/4, hindi siya 4/4. Basta wala siyang no time signature. It is open pero limited yung range niya. Okay? Kaya siya tinawag na free meter. Another one is the modal, repeated rhythmic mode or pattern. So, wala silang walang time signature, limited yung range nila, kaya nauulit-ulit yung pattern na kinalalabasan ng music natin. And then usually based in Latin liturgy, Latin is the language of the Gregorian chant. And then use of Num notation, it is a vague indication of melodic direction and patterns. Music from this, dito na yung 4 lines and 5 lines stop development.
In addition to that, the use of num notation as big one, so ang ginagawa noon is actually, kung ita-transmit yung music, they are going to have it orally.
Yes,
Oral
sir.
ang ginagawa nila. At kapag gusto nilang ituro before ang music, without that num notation, ang nangyayari, face-to-face teaching ang nangyayari sa ating music. Pero dahil may num notation, take note ang num notation is not concrete, hindi siya fixed. Kumbaga hindi pwedeng magbago.
Yes,
okay?
kaya walang time signature,
Oo.
sir.
Pero dahil dyan sa num notation, nakatulong pa rin ito for the reason na yun ang nagiging basis nila. Yan. So yun yung different characteristic ng tinatawag nating Gregorian chant. Ang ganda. Doon pala nagsimula ang ating Gregorian chant. Now we proceed.
Yes.
Right after the Gregorian chant na established ng ating Christian Church in the name of Pope Gregory I, pumasok ngayon. Kapag Christian Church, we consider that one as sacred music. Ngayon naman, pumasok ngayon ang secular music. Ayan!
Okay, so may I ask once again our learners to chat on the chat box this question. Who is your favorite boy band?
Tingnan natin kung ano ang boy band na paborito ng ating mga learners.
Tingnan natin, nakikita nila sa screen ngayon ang mga iba't ibang mga boy band.
Pa-chat nga sa ating chat box kung sino ang favorite ninyong boy band sa ngayon.
Boy band. Usong-usong mga boy band ngayon.
Ayan.
Nahuhumaling dyan si Sir Ibes sa mga boy band.
Sige, tignan nga natin. Ang sabi ni Alison Kim Marsan, BTS daw.
Parang si Sir Ibes lang, pano-panang BTS.
Ayan,
And
BTS.
para mapatunayan natin, Sir Dante, na fan si Sir Ibes ng
Ano ba
BTS,
yun?
tanong natin sa kanya kung sino ang mga member ng BTS, kilala niya yan kasi fan siya.
So
Sir
recently naging ako fan ng BTS kasi maganda yung music nila. There are 7 members.
Wow.
We have first, the worldwide handsome, si Jin. And then meron si V, si Jungkook, tapos si RM yung leader nila, si J-Hope, si Jimin, tsaka si Suga. Yun yung 7 members ng BTS.
Sabi ko sa inyo fan siya ng BTS.
Ang daming sagot. Ang dami nilang sagot sa comment
Ang daming
box.
sumagot
May
actually.
NCT.
Ang dami.
Silent Sanctuary.
May kanya-kanyang
And Hypen.
boy band ang ating mga grade 9 learners. Ang dami nilang binanggit. Congratulations.
17.
Treasure,
Hypen, Treasure, Silent Sanctuary.
Dito sa Pilipinas.
Meron palang TXT? Ano yun? Text?
Ben and Ben dito sa Pilipinas. Ating
Ben and
kalimutan.
Ben. Ano na yung famous na kanta ng Ben and Ben?
Marami,
Marami.
mga ganyan.
Ayan. Actually, yung nasa screen natin, makikita natin dyan yung mga boy band. Sino ba yung mga boy band yan? Actually,
NSYNC.
kapanahonan natin yung mga yan.
Yes, kapanahonan natin yan. Ang NSYNC,
Backstreet Boys,
Backstreet Boys,
Westlife,
Boys to Men, One Direction.
Sir Dante, kung kapanahunan nyo yan, ilang taon na rin kayo? Charot.
Ayan.
Nasa 20s pa lang naman yung mga yan.
Nasa screen
mo
natin.
yung taon nila.
Oo.
Nasa screen natin.
Actually, no, yung mga yan, yung panahon na yung mga kasisilang pa lang natin dati.
Okay.
Pero bakit kaya natin natanong, sir, yung boy band?
Bakit kaya natin natanong ang boy
Bakit
band?
natin natanong ang boy band?
Ayan. There's something to do with our topic.
Yes, because mayroong ding boy band noon. Mga panahon ng mga medieval period, di ba? Okay, so did you know that during the latter part of the medieval period, secular music was not bound by Catholic traditions emerged. Most of these songs were performed across Europe by group of musicians, which is called Troubadours.
Troubadours.
Yeah. Narinig natin kanina sa RBI, Sir Dante, yung Troubadours.
Sige.
So sila yung nagpasikat ng music during medieval period.
Group
So,
music.
group.
Yes, it is a group.
Actually, yan Troubadour na tinatawag
Boy
natin.
band sila noon.
Tinanong natin ang boy band kanina because they are performing in a group. Ang Troubadour group is performing actually in group. Pero ano mga pina-perform nila? They are performing actually secular song. Actually, kings and nobles, nabuo ang Troubadour because kings and nobles wanted to have an entertainment that time.
Yes.
Kasi ang focus lang that time is on church.
Yes, and sacred music.
Sacred. They wanted their court to be known place for culture. So yun ang ginawa nila. So naglilid nito, because of this, nagkaroon ng creation of poetry and song performed in many cases. Troubadour is for male. Meron rin silang kasamang babae. It's not a group of female, but it's a group of male na kung saan hinahaluan minsan ng babae. Ang tawag sa babae ay Troubadours. Okay? Generally, ang
Akala ko
Troubadour,
Troubadura.
ang Troubadour kasi is masculine in nature, they are male. Pero yung babae ay tinatawag na Troubadours. Okay, now, pumunta tayo sa characteristic. Kanina, we have the characteristic sa part ng Gregorian chant. Meron rin naman tayo sa Troubadour music. Usually, monophonic sila. Na-discuss na ni Sir Ibes kung ano ang monophonic.
Yes,
one note at a time which was duplicated in an octave. Second, sometimes with improvised accompaniment. May accompaniment na silang ginagamit actually. Pero, for the information of our grade 9 learners, human voice is the oldest instrument used by human. Wala pang instrument, nandyan na. They have instrument before. May mga instrument na sila ginagamit. It can be string, it can be percussion, it can be, tawag ito, woodwind, ginagamit na nila yon. Okay? Next. It tells chivalry and court love. Actually, itong mga troubadour nito, they are considered to be traveler. They are lyrical poet na kung saan ang ginagawa nila ay chivalry and about love. Troubadours are members of the knight and noble. Next, originated in France and written in a French language. Troubadour itself is a French word originated from trouver, meaning to find or to invent. Troubadour does not want to invent poem and find love lyrics. Yan. And for the information of our grade 9 learners, may isang famous composer of the medieval period na kung saan ang expertise niya ay sa secular music, and that is Adam de la Halle. Taga-Pransya na nag-exist 2037 to 2088. Ang mga works niya ay Les Jeux de Robin et de Marion et la chanson de Roy de Cecile. So yan yung work ni Adam de la Halle. So, yun ang music ng medieval period.
Yung Gregorian chant, sir, is Latin, and then
Yes.
itong
Medieval.
Troubadour is French.
French.
Okay. So sana may mga nakuhang ating grade 9 learners about it. Now we proceed to the Renaissance period, Sir MJ.
Yes, sir. So we'll be dealing with the music of the Renaissance period. So, if we say Renaissance period, it comes from the word renator, which means rebirth, revival, and rediscovery. Renaissance music became popular as entertainment and activity for amateurs and educated. Lute was the prominent instrument of the era, and this era was also called the golden age of a cappella choral music.
Yes.
So, the most important music during this early Renaissance period was composed for the use of church.
Yes.
So, it was dominated by the Latin Mass due to supremacy of the Catholic Church.
Pag sinabi nating a cappella, Sir MJ, that is originated from a word, yung capella, which means chapel. Kaya there are songs in a chapel.
Yes, sir.
Tinawag ito na golden age of a cappella, rebirth, revival, and rediscovery from Renator. It's because of the discovery of the printing press by Johannes Gutenberg in 14th century, mas mabilis ang production ng mga musical masterpieces. Unlike before, di ba, they transmit it orally.
Face to face.
Oo, face to face ang nangyayari. Here, because of the presence of the printing press, maraming na-establish na mga musical pieces na pwedeng pag-aralan ng mga tao that time. Okay, so Ibes?
So, what are the characteristics of the Renaissance era? First one is, it is mostly polyphonic. Kanina is yung medieval natin is monophonic. Now, pagpasok ng Renaissance period, naging polyphonic siya. Mas hindi na lang siya limited sa isang sound or isang voice na instrument na naririnig natin. Kasi poly means marami, tama? And
Yes.
then, imitation among the voices is common. So yan, nanggagaya-gaya na sila ng mga boses or tunog na naririnig, kagaya ng tunog ng gitara. Kaya yung 'di ba sa a cappella, it is purely human voice. Kung alam niyo yung pitch perfect, walang instrument naman na naririnig doon, pero lumalabas doon sa naririnig natin, or sa naririnig natin is meron siyang parang background na instrument because of the imitation of voices and imitation of sound of instruments. Next is use of word painting in text and music. Melodic lines move in a flowing manner. Kanina is limited range lang yung ating sa Gregorian chant sa anong tawag dito sa medieval. Ngayon dito is there is a flowing manner. It is open now, and melodies are easier to perform.
Yan. Pakinggan niya natin, Sir MJ, yung example ng isang Renaissance music. Sige, pakinggan po natin, entitled Fire for My Heart.
Parang kaya ni Sir Francis.
Isang tao,
Okay.
pero
Actually,
different
oo.
voices.
Oo. Yan, marami ng voices ang nandiyan. Purple My Heart is the masterpiece of Thomas Morley. And that is a good example of what we call Renaissance music.
Napakauso niyan, sir, sa TikTok. Yung isa lang ang kumakanta, pero ang dami niyang mga boses.
Yes, actually yung mga grade 10 natin,
Combine niya.
nagpasa sila ng music performance nila. Ganyan ang ginawa nila eh. Isang tao, pero
Maraming,
iba't ibang mga polyphony.
Okay.
Yes.
We proceed, Sir Francis.
So, there are two vocal music of Renaissance period. This is called the Mass and the Madrigal. Mass is a form of sacred musical composition that sets text of the Eucharistic liturgy into music. So, the different characteristics of the Mass are the following. There are polyphonic. It may be sung in a cappella or with orchestral accompaniment. Katulad nung napakinggan natin kanina, yung Fire.
That is a cappella.
Yes. Text may be syllabic, pneumatic, or melismatic. And the 5 main sections of the Mass vocal music, we have Kiri. I thought this Kiri is Pasiri Pisara.
Ay, hindi.
Hindi, sir. Kiri.
Naka-TikTok na yan.
Akala ko yung Kiri na ito, Lord have mercy pala yung Kiri.
Kiri is a
Paano ba yung Lord have mercy na yan?
Kantayin nga natin. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
Meron pa tayong blending.
Tagalog niya is, Panginoon maawa ka.
Parang mas maalam natin kasi yun yung Tagalog, Okay, another 5 main section of Mass vocal music is Gloria. Paano ba yan, Sir Ibes, Gloria?
Glory to God in the highest.
Yung pala yan.
Peace to God's people on earth. Glory to God in the highest. Cut!
Next is Credo, yung I believe in one God.
Yan, pwede niyan, pwedeng kantahin, pwede rin naman i-recite. I believe in God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth. I believe in Jesus Christ. Ayun yun.
And then another is Sanctus and Benedictus, which is the Holy, Holy, and Blessed is He.
Santo.
Santo pala yan.
Santo.
Ay, may pa-second voice.
Meron pa siyang ganun, sir, pa-second voice.
Akala ko meron yung
Ayan yun, sir. Di ba?
Yan. Okay. That is Santo.
And the last one is Agnus Dei, which is Lamb of God.
Cordero ng Diyos.
Cordero ng Diyos na nag-aalis ng mga kasalanan ng sanlibutan. So, yun yung 5 main section ng ating Mass. Take
That
note
until
na,
now, sir, nasa part pa rin siya ng Mass natin.
Yes,
sir.
liturgical.
Liturgical Mass that is sacred. Now, we proceed to the next one, the Madrigal. Madrigal is a secular vocal polyphonic music composition which is originated from Italy. Okay? It is written and expressed in a poetic text and sung during courtly and social gathering. It is the most important secular form during the Renaissance period. That is the Madrigal. Ang
meron tayong singers dito sa Pilipinas na the Madrigal.
Madrigal is UP Madrigal.
Yeah,
that
yung
is,
mga kumakanta silang nakaupo lang.
Oo.
Yes.
Mostly
Parang kaya mo yun,
acapella.
sir.
Yes. Sige.
Oy, meron pa nga kumakanta nakahiga,
Yes.
di ba? Sila ni Miss Lucha.
Yes. Ang characteristic ng Madrigal, we have polyphonic, sang a cappella, true composed, and frequently in 3 to 6 voices. Parang parang halos magkaparehas sila ng characteristic with that of the Mass. Unfortunately, ang pagkakaiba lang ng dalawa, yun is sa sacred, yung Madrigal is secular.
Okay.
Ayan ang pagkakaiba ng
Sample daw, sir, sa madrigal.
Ano bang mga
I
secular
can.
music? Meron.
Nandyan, we have an example of music of, later on, maririnig ng mga bata after discussing our famous composer. Who are
Ngayon,
the
sir,
famous
ang mga
composer?
secular music natin, pwede din nating marinig ito sa church, inside sa church.
Yes.
Yung during communion, yung mga yung mga kanta nila, Gary V, ano na to? A group of solo instruments called concertino and the whole orchestra called tutti. And then, we have also the fugue, a contrapuntal piece developed mainly by imitative counterpoint, usually written in 3 or 4 parts with a main theme called subject. And the last one is the oratorio, a large-scale musical composition for orchestra and voices that incorporates narratives on religious themes. For example, we have the Messiah, Christmas oratorio, the Creation by Haydn. Those are examples of oratorio. When we say oratorio kasi, there is a story. Merong story yung music na ginagawa nila. And then, the last one until now, meron pa rin ito or naririnig natin is the chorale. Musical composition that resemble a harmonized version of hymnal tunes of the Protestant Church during the Baroque era. So those are the 5 music genres of the Baroque period: concerto, concerto grosso, fugue, oratorio, and chorale.
Okay, so next we have the different famous composers of Baroque period. So we have 3 composers, starting with Johann Sebastian Bach. Johann Sebastian Bach was king from a family of musicians. Yan. So siguro lahat ng kanyang mga family member ay naka-inclined in music. He was also to play a violin by his father. So he was taught. Tinuruan siya ng kanyang ama na mag-play ng violin. He became an orphan at the age of 10, and his brother, a church organist, provided for him. He was also a religious man, and he was known for his compositions for organ, orchestra, and oratorio. So his famous, important, and long-term position was as cantor at St. Thomas Church. So his works are the following. We have Brandenburg Concertos, or called as the Concerto Grosso, Mass in B minor, Cantata 208 and 211, Fugue in G minor, works for clavichord and harpsichord. Meron ba tayong ipi-play, Sir MJ?
Parang wala.
Na composition ni Johann
We
Sebastian
cannot play
Bach?
muna. Then later on, pwede siguro natin isend sa ating mga grade 9 learners.
Yung link.
Yung link kasi medyo nagkaroon ng technical problem sa ating live streaming. So napapakinggan lang tayo through radio. Okay. Next. After Johann Sebastian Bach, Sir Ibes,
we have also Antonio Lucio Vivaldi, nicknamed the Red Priest. Okay? Recognized as Italian Baroque composer, Catholic priest, and a virtuoso violinist. Known mainly for composing instrumental concertos, especially for violin, as well as sacred choral works, and over 40. Dami niyang mga nagawang musical piece. And then entered the priesthood and ordained in 1703. So si Antonio Vivaldi ay pari pala. Okay, well known for giving the strings a major role in his composition. And then we have the last one, who is the composer, Sir MJ.
We have George Friedrich Handel. Was the second son from the second marriage of a pastor. At age 7, he gained access to a church organ and he started to play. Remembered for his operas and oratorios, became England's favorite composer. He lost his eyesight in 1753 when he conducted his oratorio Samson. A few in the audience were unaware that he had lost his eyesight. The Messiah is Handel's most famous creation, and the very well-known Hallelujah chorus is part of Handel's Messiah. Sir Francis, baka kaya mo silang sampulan ng Hallelujah.
Pwede ba natin i-play, sir?
Hallelujah,
Yung
hallelujah, hallelujah,
Check natin, sir.
Ayan. Sige, paki-play, sir. Ayan. That is the Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Sige, handle yan.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yan, cut. Sir, so that is Friedrich Handel. Balikan nga natin yung music ni Antonio Vivaldi para marinig ng ating mga grade 9 learners. Yan tinatawag nating Four Seasons.
Four Seasons.
Yan. Pakinggan natin ang Four Seasons grade 9 learners.
That is a violin, Sir Dante. Violin concert.
No, ayan. That's the first season.
Yes.
Yan.
For violin concert.
Ayan.
The four
So,
seasons of spring, summer,
yan.
autumn, and winter.
So, those are our famous composers during the Baroque period. So, there you have it, the music of the medieval, Renaissance, Baroque period. I hope you've learned a lot this afternoon about the music of the medieval, Renaissance, and Baroque. We now proceed to the different activities, Sir Francis. Ano yung mga activities na dapat pagtuunan ng pansin ng ating mga grade 9 learners for
Yes,
this week?
starting with activity 1, which is found on your learning activity sheet 1, pages 2 to 3. Directions. Choose the letter of your correct answer. So, students or learners, first activity is activity 1, to be followed by activity 2, Sir Mark.
Yes, sir. Activity 2, directions. Listen to the following compositions, then choose description of the elements based on the music selection that you heard. Write the letters of your answer in a separate sheet of paper. Note, if you have internet access, you can access the music samples from the given links. If internet is not available, request from your teacher a copy of the recorded music. So it will be found on last one, page number 3.
Okay, after that, after doing activity 1 and 2, activity number 3, directions, listen to the Vivaldi's Spring from the Four Seasons. While listening, answer the questions that follow. Note, if you have internet access, you can access the music samples from the given links. So, meron pong link na binigay doon. If internet is not available, request from the teacher a copy of the recorded music. This can be found on last one, page 4.
Okay, for your performance task, do activity number 2 on page 23 titled Folk Gregorian. You're going to listen once again to the Gregorian chant sample. Try to imitate and familiarize with the melody of the song. When you are already familiar with it, sing the song using the lyrics of Bahay Kubo. Record your performance and submit it to your teacher. Be guided with the rubrics presented in your learning activity sheet. Bigyan nga natin sila ng example,
So,
Sir
Sir
Francis.
Dante, gagawin nila ang Gregorian chant ang
Bahay Kubo. Bigyan natin sila ng sample, Sir
Okay.
Francis.
Ayan,
Ready?
sample,
5,
sample.
6, 7, go.
Bahay kubo, kahit munti, ang halaman doon.
Okay.
Cut.
That
Ay,
is
may
an
blending
example.
tayo.
Yan.
May blending?
Yan. Pero monophonic pa rin siya, Gregorian
Oo.
chant siya.
Yes.
Okay, Sir MJ, kindly give us a recap of what transpired this afternoon.
So these are the summary of our topic. We discussed musical elements of selected vocal and instrumental music during medieval, Renaissance, and Baroque periods by listening and describing their music. So napag-aralan natin yan, dinifferentiate natin each period. We talk about the great musical compositions and composers of medieval, Renaissance, and Baroque periods. So na-discuss din natin ang mga iba't ibang famous composers. We shared ideas and information in the development of music during these periods. we tackled the characteristics and function of music during medieval, Renaissance, and Baroque period.
Ayan. So that's the summary of our discussion this afternoon. We now proceed on the reflection part. Okay? Do you think the music of the past is still useful in our modern time? In what situation are they useful? Sige
Yes, for
Sir
me,
Francis?
Sir Dante, music of
Miss
the
Universe
past.
ito.
Miss Universe.
Yes.
The music of the past is still useful in our modern time. For example, if we create a musical piece, we can get inspiration from variations, rhythms, or beats from an old song that we can use in a new song.
What about you, Sir MJ?
Yes, music inspires and entertain us, forming the soundtrack of our lives. Kaya nga, pag may music ka, meron din tayong soundtrack kung anong nagre-reflect sa ating buhay na yun.
Yes.
Diba?
What about you, Sir
So, what
Ives?
is the soundtrack of your life, Sir
Siguro,
RJ?
sir, ngayon, may bukas
pa.
May bukas
Yes, kasi,
pa.
diba, habang may bukas, may pag-asa.
Yes.
Parang ako ang soundtrack ko, yung paborito ko. Pasiri, Pisara.
TikTok mo yan.
What about you, Sir?
Well, for me, Sir Dante, Miss Universe, music is timeless. Melodies from the past can still be heard today. Tunes may be played differently in the techno world, but one thing never changes. Music will always be part of man's everyday life. That would be all. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that great reflection, Teacher MJ, Teacher Ibes, and Teacher Francis. Take note, grade 9 learners, despite the fact that what we have discussed this afternoon is actually the music of the past, but still, we need to keep them, we need to value them because they are already a part of our history and a part of our day-to-day existence. Despite the fact that they are foundation, they are really the foundation in creating more music that is innovative in our present time. So use all the musical style that you have learned this afternoon in our day-to-day living. So there you have it, our airing of our Music Education 9. Thank you very much for tuning in our station. May masasabi ka pa ba, Sir Ibes?
Wala na po, sir.
Yan. Thank you very much. Sa muli
Thank
natin
you.
pagkikita next week for our second episode, and that is Arts Education. Once again, and of course, bago tayo magpaalam, we still have 2 minutes. Thank you sa ating technician, of course, Sir Mark. And of course, Sir Dennis, thank you very much.
And Sir
Thank you rin
Dennis.
sa ating radio teacher, Ma'am Monica.
Ma'am Monica.
We have also
Our technical specialist.
technical specialist, Sir Arnel Lagasca.
Okay,
and of course, sa ating lahat.
Ang fresh na fresh.
Ang fresh na fresh
head
na
natin.
head
Hello, Sir Leo.
Hello,
Thank you.
Despite na
for
nag-work
always
siya,
supporting us.
work from home siya. Muli sa pagkikita natin next week para sa ating second episode sa ating Arts Education 9. Pakatandaan palagi na sa MAPEH Learning Area,
Learning is amazing! Goodbye!
Bye-bye!
Music, arts, physical education, and health. Mga aralin na dapat malaman, inyong tututukan dito sa 106.3 Dance Radio, ang istasyong nagbibigay ng edukasyon kahit saan at ang silid-aralan sa radyo 106.3 DWDR-FM. Sa MAPEH, learning is amazing!
Matuto at